our discussion on economics. The key question in this branch of our worldview is, what does the Bible teach about economics, about money? What produces a sound economy? What system the Bible approves? In the world there are many systems of economics, especially in India, which is a mixed economy of capitalism and socialism, and where the communists are trying to make inroads into our economical thinking. The question is a very vital one for any Indian Christian, because he is constantly bombarded with the three systems: Marxism, socialism, and capitalism. And then a fourth option is the mixed economy, a capitalistic, economy mixed with our, social economics. So this is a very, very important subject for us. The Bible teaches very clearly that every man has to earn his living. They have to work if they have to eat. But in some economic systems, you cannot choose your own work. Every job is, government job. You have no choice of picking up your job. Whatever they give you, you have to do it. Like in the Marxist communistic system. So you cannot decide whether you want to be an engineer or doctor or a pharmacist or a lawyer or anything. The government basically will decide. So the economy is also equally controlled by, by the government. But the Bible definitely teaches that every man has to work. He has to decide what he wants to work. He has to decide how much money he wants to make, and then he has to decide what he wants to do with the money he makes, whether to give away or to save. It's all, the Bible definitely gives guidelines how we must make and how much we must make and how we must spend and all that. But yet, the underlying principle is the personal freedom, the private property, the private enterprises. So that's definitely a very, very key concept. The commandment, thou shalt not steal, is the clearest declaration of the right to private property. Bible does not permit anyone to lay hand on somebody else's property. So that means somebody else is allowed to have his own property. No one else is allowed to lay hands on his property, Otherwise stealing has no meaning, because you are taking something that belongs to somebody else. So human nature after the fall is basically sinful. Therefore the sinful man always has two tendencies. One is to live without working, to earn an easy living. Yes. The other thing is always to enjoy the labor of other people, encroaching upon others. This is there in every human being. People are more happy if they can get a lottery, 1 crore rupee, rather than earn 1 crore rupee by working. People are always happy that way, to get something into your hand for which you have not labored. Yes, people are very happy when they find a 100 rupee note on the road and pick it up. Much happier than when they go and work a day and get in the end of the day, 100 rupees. There is a special something, God has blessed you something uniquely, because you are getting something freely without working. This is a tendency in the human nature. But God in this Bible very clearly tells that, we have to earn, our living by working hard. When the Lord said, you shall live with the sweat of your brow, He meant that not only you will work, but you will have hard labor. Hard-earned bucks, people say that. That's where you should earn your money by working hard, honest, hard work. Bible always, everywhere speaks about it. The righteous man, the godly man, working hard and eating from the labor of his own hand. Producing. That's a biblical thinking. So Bible definitely then encourages the sinful man, though he is sinful, to earn his living. Bible also teaches that man is a responsible being. That means how he earns, how much he earns, what he does with what he earned. For all these things he has to give an account to the Lord. That's a stewardship responsibility. Bible allows you to earn as much as you want. There is no limit. Nowhere in the Bible says you can earn only, this much. You can earn as many as. There are rich people. Even to the Lord a rich man came. He is very rich. He must have got it, from his parents, we don't know, or he must have earned it by doing business. In the many parables the Lord has said there is business. And he always complimented the man who earned. Lord, you gave me 2, I earned 2 more. He said, good, that's what I want. That's what I want. To the lazy person, he had a word of rebuke, saying you should have given my money to the bank. I should have collected my interest on it. The Lord wants everybody to be making. Making money is never sinful. Making money unethically is what is sinful. But yet on the other hand, how much a person make? Well, how much a person should make is a good question. You should make enough for you. You should make something to give the Lord, his share. You must make something to give others, Then you must definitely have something, Bible says, a saving. So how much a man makes is a big question. So definitely God doesn't want anybody to make just enough for them, for their bread and butter. No, that's not how much you should make. Generally say you must make enough for your present known needs. Present known needs. Say a man is married and his wife is expecting, that's a present known need. In 9 months' time there will be a maternity expenses, delivery, hospital fees and child and all that. That's a known needs. You don't wait until the night of the labor pain starts, Lord, I have a need now. No, that has been a known need. You have a daughter. Well, in 2022, 24 years, she has to be married. So that's a known need. A responsible person will be who will wait for 25 years and then tell the Lord, proposal come, I don't have any money with me, Lord, how things will go. I know you are gracious and kind. Lord say, I'm not very gracious and kind. No, Lord say, I'm not very gracious and kind. I made you a responsible being. I gave you this child 24 years back. What were you doing 24 years? But on the other hand, a man who said that he saved 10 rupees every month, very honestly, that's all what he could. At the end of the 24 years, he said, Lord, I have said what I could in the given situation. I was a responsible father. Only this much I have, but this much is not enough. What will I do? You have to show mercy. God will show mercy on that man because he is a responsible person.
First person, first God more.
I wish it was like that. First person was taking for granted. God will make up for my irresponsibility. That's what he said. It's like the child say, I won't study, but Lord knows answer to every question. See? So the moment I get the question paper, I take the answer book and the paper and I say, Lord, you know the answer. You can put it in my mind. I will have a word of prayer. So the Lord will say, no, I'm not that gracious to anybody. You had a whole year, or you had so many years to study your lessons, you did not. You think that I know the answer? Yeah, I know the answer. But you're not going to be benefited by it. So a lot of Christians tempt God. That's what basically, you cannot expect God to make up for your negligence. You be honest. In spite of her honesty, as I said in the second case, he may have saved 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs and maybe he needs about 10 lakhs for your expenses. He cannot come up with 7 lakhs. He can honestly ask God, you are gracious, sufficient, I have been responsible, I did my duty towards my family, towards, God, towards church and everything. And this is what I come up with, I don't know how, but I know you will help me. And the Lord will help. God is there to help such people. There's a saying in English, God helps those who help themselves, Yeah, God helps those who help themselves. God is not there to help people who are careless. It doesn't matter whether you are Lord's servant, you are somebody who is working full time, it does not matter. A believer ought to be responsible. God made man a responsible being. That's why Paul said in Timothy that, what said that he who does not care for his own household is worse than an infidel, Yes. So these things we need to teach in the churches. Our economics assumes that we are doing what we are supposed to be doing. So responsibility, the responsible stewardship is a big thing. Responsible stewardship. So then we are talking about what is the most desirable economic system. We are living in a society, we are not living in an island where we are alone. We can do whatever we want. Our economic philosophy, we can practice. We were the only people in the world, but we are not the only people. We are living in a society. There is government. So what happens, because there is government in society, our economic principle has to be harmonized with what the government permits, what your neighbor permits. Yes. So we have to develop a very consistent economic principle in harmony with Bible. It should be harmonious with the Bible. In the world, as I said, socialism is there, capitalism is there, and then, your Marxism is there. Then there is a mixed economy, like a country like in India, socialism plus capitalism, which is the correct economy? That's a question that we discuss in economics. The most desirable economic system definitely promotes the right to work. Whatever system you belong to, that system must be promoting the right to work. Government should not be giving anybody anything free. I don't believe that government should give anybody anything free. When the Bible says a man shall not eat unless he works, government should not be giving somebody free to eat. Government should be providing people opportunity to work. Even the handicapped people, who cannot move or he cannot have freedom of work, there are jobs they could do. The government should provide them, facilities so that they could develop their skill, with their limitations and earn a living. It's always, decent. There is dignity when you see a person, totally handicapped, he makes, his living, as opposed to someone who is begging. Begging is never, a work in the Bible. No, never. So government should not be promoting, this sort of giving out money freely to people. In America, they call it the food stamps and all given to poor people. Food stamps, they want, everybody get $500 worth of food stamps. You can take these stamps and redeem it. Go to a grocery store, $10 but food stamp, and you can pick up $10 worth of food. They do that. So they have that system there. In our country, we have what called rationing system. Sometimes its rationing system is just free. Somebody who honestly works, he has to pay 32 rupees per kilo. Somebody who does not work, they have to pay only 2 rupees to get the same rice. So, work is a curse then? Are you penalized because you wanted to work? What system is that? What system is that? We are not talking about people who are sick and or something, but healthy families are given, free food. I don't believe anybody should be given free food. Everybody must be given opportunity for work. In the country, everybody should be encouraged to work, and there are, different works, and even the most handicapped person should be provided some training so that he could earn his living. Let everybody earn their living. Instead of government giving away money freely. How can a government exist by giving away money? So I don't believe that. So the Bible teaches that whatever form of economics you have, it is an economics that encourages everybody, or the right to work, the responsibility to work, that should be there. Everybody should earn his own living by working. And also, whatever economics you have, it should respect the right to own. You worked and you earned. It's your money. Government should not take it away. Government should not take it away. What right the government has? If you call it the employment tax, okay, the rest of the money is yours. But government should not take away money from citizens freely. The Bible encourages us, teaches us that we must pay tax. Yes, there will be tax for everybody, because we have government employees, we have police, we have military. There are so many things government has to do. They need money. For that money they can take tax. But taxing should not be an excuse to take away all the money the people earn. Because you work hard 8 hours or 10 hours to support your family, and government takes away. That's not right. Especially when the government is doing business by themselves. Government has no business of doing business. Government should not be running any business, because then government is competing with the private person's freedom to work. How can you do that? That cannot be. The governments have medical stores. What they call those medical stores? In Kerala we have these medical stores, subsidized rate medical stores. Why should government run medical stores? Let private people run medical stores. Government can control the prices so that private firms will not be exploiting people. If a medicine, it takes only 5 rupees to produce 10 tablets, then that 10 tablets need not be sold for 150 rupees. It need not be. A reasonable amount, 30 or 40 rupees, fine. Your expense and all, a reasonable profit for the dealers. But why should 150, 180 rupees? So that's what the government should control. Unethical trade. So economics, the freedom to write, the right to work and the right to own and the right to spend. Government should not be telling anybody you cannot wear, you have to wear only this kind of cloth, you cannot buy any cloth that costs more than this, or you cannot put your child in any school that costs more than this. You cannot buy a car cost more than this. You cannot give your child for the wedding spend more than this. The government has no business of telling all those things. Government can give guidelines. Anybody can give good guidelines. Teach people the value of money. And all that. But government cannot make law on these things. The Lord in his parable said that, the rich man's wedding, he said, all my animals are fattened, animals are killed, my wine is mixed, my food is ready, come. That sounds like it's a big feast. It's a big feast. And he has that freedom to give. The other man may not do it, limited by his economics. He may do a feast to his capacity. Government should not be saying it. So, our economic system, the biblical economic system does not promote free food for anybody, and then the government owning what you work, government taking away, and you are not free to give to whomever you want. No, you cannot in many places. And all these things. So economics is more than just work and earning. Economics is not just money and spending. Economics deals with, it's a science that deals with your right to work, your right to own, and your duty to, or your right to spend, your right to save, your freedom to give, and all these things are governed by economics. And we needed to teach we needed to educate our children right from the beginning on this economics. Economics. How much they can have, how they should earn, In the Western society, capitalist society, children are paid for every job they do, Taking out the trash, every day you get 10 cents. Well, that's good. Cleaning the bathroom, you can earn, every week so much. Taking out the newspaper, this and that, and everything you get. So everything, that system goes. Of course, then the problem is they won't do anything unless you pay for it. So they learn that there's no free work. Everything is paid. Everything is paid. So basically, children supported, and after a while the parents will charge the children. Yes. Now you have to pay, contribute so much per week for the food and clothing and boarding and all that. Well, there, it always could be misused, but interestingly, children learn the value of work, dignity of work, the value of money and all that thing. By the time somebody is 18 years old, they have their apartments, they have their car, they have everything, and they are ready to establish a family. Here 25, 26-year-old man, only in recent years with the IT boom and all they have. Otherwise 25, 26-year-old man, even when after marriage, the father-in-law has to provide for her clothing and her food and everything, a place to live and everything, What system is that? It's not the right system. It never made our people responsible. The motivation is not there. I need to work, I need to provide for, I have to find my own housing and everything there. This is part of economics. This is not, just a practical living. This is theoretical and practical economics in operation. Our children should be taught these values and how to spend money, ownership of money. How the stewardship responsibility of holding money, saving money, spending money, giving money and all those things. We have to. If we teach our children correctly, then they will never be covetous. They know not only how to make money, they know the responsibility of owning money, giving money and all those things. So we need to. So any system that respects these elements, that's a biblical system. That's a biblical system. And I'm not a capitalist or a socialist or a Marxist, definitely, but taking into consideration everything, I will say the Bible definitely believes in a biblical system of capitalism, not the American system of capitalism, but a biblical system of capitalism, where individuals are free to own, free to work, free to spend and all those things. Socialism also could be a mode, if it could be modified in some way, a modified version of the socialism could also be acceptable, but I think a biblical capitalism is far ideal because it agrees more with the biblical system of the freedom to work, the freedom to earn, the freedom to own, the freedom to save, the freedom to give, stewardship responsibility and all these things, they better serve. So a sound economic system therefore will guarantee personal freedom to work, personal freedom to use the labor, the product of his work, and the other person's right to work, and respecting the other person's right to own and to exist in the society, Free enterprise with check and balance to guarantee social justice is the ideal system. Free enterprise with check and balance. The government has to bring the balance. The Bible brings the balance. The Bible very clearly encourages everybody to work. Work honestly. In 6 days you have to finish all your work. What does that mean? You have a work to do and you must finish it. Everything. Your land even has to be given a sabbatical. 6 years you work, 7th year your land cannot be cultivated. Why? Because the land has to regain the lost energy. Continuous cultivation, that's going to reduce the fertility of the land. So God said, give the land a Sabbath. Rotation of crops, they're all biblically practiced, It's all practiced. Amazingly, you study the Mosaic instructions concerning work, farming and all that, our land will produce a whole lot better. But people, overlook those things. So free enterprises with check and balance, guarantees social justice. Social justice in the sense, in the society there will be always the so-called poor people. Who are the poor? They don't have land to work. They have only physical, body to earn their living. And then after some time what happens? Their physical strength goes down, their ability to work is stopped. So they are the ideal poor. They have to be supported according to Bible. They have to be supported. So Bible requires every farmer to leave a portion of his crop unharvested for these poor people to come and pick it up. Yes? So that is social justice. They have to give 1/10 of their property, that one of their 3 tithes set aside for the poor and the needy. And the strangers, they say, because the strangers cannot own land in Palestine. Land belongs to the Lord, and Lord has given it to Israel, His peoples. So those who migrated from outside, they don't have land. So they also need. So they usually work in the field, but that's only for day-to-day, needs. Again, depends upon the wage system. Not everybody is as gracious as a Boaz. Boaz was a gracious master. Ruth worked in the field, but she was able to, take home a good amount. Boaz was so gracious that he gave her so much food that she could eat plenty and then take home a portion. So Boaz was a good master. Job was a good master, because there we read that his servants eat meat and they eat so much and they left over. The prodigal son said about his father, the laborers in his home, they eat plenty of meat and left over always. See the imagery, they were not just giving enough, but they gave so much that they will eat full and then something will be left over, And that's the way. And that's the way our Lord was also. 5 loaves and 2 fishes, 12 baskets were left over. And the statement is, the fish also He gave them as much as they wanted to eat, Fish was not a side dish, seems like. It was the main dish there. The Lord's economics was that. But He said that not one fragment can be wasted. Not one pick up all fragments. Not one. Because conservation of resources is biblical system. Yes. James talks about not keeping our gold and silver at home, but putting money into circulation. Yes. Money should always be put into circulation. Nobody should encourage piggy bank savings, Putting money in that. You should open an account for your child in the bank at the earliest. And teach the child to deposit in the bank, because the child will get the interest. Child will learn the value, the art of, balancing the checkbook, checking and going to the bank and all these things. So instead of putting it in that so-called piggy bank, put it in the bank. That's a biblical principle. Money is in circulation. Government needs money for building roads, hospitals and everything. So when you put your money in gold and silver, keeping it at home, what are you doing? You are not helping the national construction, the building up of the nation. So these are biblical principles of economics, So if we are responsible people, then, we have savings, but our savings also will get interest, not in the blade banks, but in the government nationalized banks, scheduled banks where government approved rates, you can earn it. Government will also get the tax money, and reduction at the sources they will also get, and we don't have to worry about many things. This is honest, intelligent, and I encourage people, be honest in your dealings. Have right economics. Have right economics. Communism and Marxism as a system does not believe in free enterprise and private ownership of property. They don't really believe in the freedom for work and freedom to own. The freedom to work means you cannot decide what you want in the Marxist system. The government will decide. Whatever factory the government will send you, you go there. Whatever cooperative land, farm, government will ask you to go and work, that's where you